In this video, I'll show you how to send line work from Rhino into Revit as a detail component using Conveyor version 5. In this tutorial, we're looking at a wall graphic as an example, and in this case, it's been designed using Rhino and Grasshopper so that it can be parametrically modified, and it will be documented using Revit so that it's documented along with the rest of the set in this theoretical project. The first step of sending these elements over to Revit will be to block them together. So we have two different layers here, this wall graphic circles layer and wall graphic lines layer, the red circles and the blue lines. And I will select those objects and then block them. Set that block base point and name the block. You can name it anything you like. And now that this is blocked, we will navigate to our conveyor panel in Rhino. I'm running Rhino inside of Revit, using Rhino inside Revit right now, so we'll use this Rhino and Revit direct send method. You could also save your Rhino file and then use the conveyor importer on the Revit side to bring this line work in. Next, we'll set the category for conveyor to component families. For all blocks, component families should be the only option that's available for you there. And the type we will set to generic models in this case. You can set this to any type that makes sense for your project. Next, and I will put this side by side so we can see what is happening in real time, we will send this graphic over to Revit using the Send to Revit button. Revit will open a dialog box asking you if you'd like to load the block. You can select Load. And then you should see a progress bar window open as it's processing that block. And here is the imported result. In this example, we're using two different colors for the graphic, and maybe that's important to the documentation. So next I'll show you how you can change the color of these imported objects. Navigate to your Manage tab, and then beneath Settings, select Object Styles and Imported Objects. We'll drop down and expand this Imports and Families category. And then we'll scroll down to find what we're looking for here is the layer name back from Rhino, which was Wall Graphic. And from here you can change the colors of these lines as well as their line weights. You could also change the pattern and hit apply, and this will change the appearance of those elements. You're also able to make edits back in the Rhino side and send those over, and it will retain those object settings from the Object Styles menu. So to do that, we can quickly open our Grasshopper function here, and perhaps we want circles of two different colors. So in this case, we might edit the layers here, and we'll go into the block, select those objects and delete them, and perhaps we want a few more circles. So now we have a variety of random color applied. We have twice as many circles. We can accept this block, hit OK. I should also mention Grasshopper is totally not necessary for this workflow. This is just to show you an example. And so from here you can reselect the same block and send that over to Revit again. It'll do the same process, asking if you want to load the block and then import that block. It is worth noting too that the more content that you're trying to import, the longer this loading process will take, but it should only be a few minutes. And now that these are imported, you can go back into Object Styles, Imported Objects, and the ones that came across as black, you'll notice it's again by layer name. So Wall Circles A came across as black. So we'll change that to our red. Change this to our green and hit apply. And the graphic is updated.